Hi. Today I'm going to be reading an essay, very informal essay, on the Lego Ninjago movie because it's a fun movie that I think more people should probably watch. I'll be looking at it as objectively as possible for the main part, sprinkling some of my opinions throughout the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, I'm going to explain to you what Ninjago is, if you don't know. Lego Ninjago is a multimedia series that aired in January of 2012 with two pilot episodes and a corresponding line of Lego sets. The pilot follows Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane, and their master Wu finding four elemental weapons to battle Wu's brother, the evil Lord Garmadon. Now, those weapons don't really matter much to the movie, so I won't get into too much detail about them, but essentially they allow the ninja to channel their elemental abilities. The show followed a similar structure for its first 7 seasons, that being 12 to 13 20-minute long episodes that tell an overarching story. Season 2 and Season 5 introduce a new member to the ninja team. Season 2 adds Lloyd Garmadon as the Green Ninja, the ninja destined to defeat Lord Garmadon. In Season 5, a supporting character of the team and Kai's sister Nia became the Water Ninja. She was the last main member to be added and kept for the entire series pre-reboot. Now that we know the characters of the show, let's dive a little deeper into the movie, as that is pretty much all you need to know to get the plot. The Lego Ninjago movie takes place in a fictional Lego city called Ninjago City. Real original, I know. We are introduced to the ninja team via a city-wide newsreel. Our characters from the show are still here: Kai Fire Ninja, Jay Lightning Ninja, Cole Earth Ninja, Zane Ice Ninja, Nia Water Ninja, and Lloyd the Green Ninja. The ninja team are the city's main defense against the attacks of Lord Garmadon. In the show, Lord Garmadon is an evil ruler obsessed with power and control, in this instance, wanting to control Ninjago City. But unlike in the show, where the ninja fight him using their elemental weapons, they use elemental mechs instead. These mechs were released as standalone LEGO sets, like one might expect, as the lore of the LEGO movies reveals that the characters themselves are actually LEGO bricks and minifigures. We soon find out Lloyd is treated very negatively because of who his father is. This also affects the lives of his friends. On Lloyd's 16th birthday, Garmadon attacks Ninjago City and the ninja jump into action, piloting their mechs to defend the city from Garmadon's army, as Lloyd confronts his father as the Green Ninja, and he destroys Garmadon's shark mech, and his father retreats. Now, this fixation that Garmadon has with sharks is exclusive to the movie, and honestly one of the parts I'm not a huge fan of, as it really comes off like its only purpose is to make shark jokes. Now, I do understand the humor in the movie, and I understand fully that it is supposed to be a jokey movie, but there are just some points where it tries too hard to be silly and serious at the same time, and just comes off as if the writers are being very indecisive. Now, before we get more into the series, or the movie plot, now that you have how it begins, we're going to take a bit of a look at the designs of the ninja, of the main ninja. And I'm actually going to pull them up on my screen because this is just a recording. But essentially, Kai's hairpiece was changed from a rubber hairpiece to a plastic hairpiece that honestly looks more like a fire than the original one ever did. His scar has been moved, and now there's only one of them instead of multiple. There's been a bandage placed on his head, which honestly just builds character. You know, it like you look at him and you know more about what he would be like than looking at the original figure. I'm not gonna talk about the suits here, just the actual like face designs, right? So that's Kai. Probably, I think maybe the second least changed character. Jay, um, is probably the one that changed the most, honestly. As you can see, his hair was completely changed, including the color, because people couldn't really figure out if his original hair color was orange or not, which I think is really funny. It wasn't. But his original hair color was literally just a city piece, which we don't. I mean, it's nice to have like an original hairpiece, right? The eyebrow slit he had was removed, which I'm not a big fan about. That'll come up later again. I liked it. It had character. I do like his freckles. It is revealed in the show that Jay wears concealer, so I think he just probably stopped wearing concealer to show his freckles more. And overall, he just has a more expressive face. I'm liking it a lot more than his original show design. Cole was the least changed. His eyebrows got a bit bushier. Um, I think his mouth got a bit smaller and his hair changed. And I like the new hair better than the old hair. Again, a lot of the old Ninjago designs were just very like Lego City ish, which I'm not like the biggest fan of because that's just not, those aren't my boys. So Cole least changed. Probably I think Cole's my second favorite design. Jay being my first, Cole being my second, then Kai being third. Then we have Zane, which Zane, they did a lot better for Zane than they did in, his original form, because it was just a smile. It was just a smile with two lines, right? And then that hair. And of course, obviously, they did have Titanium Zane in the show, but he was not featured in the movie. It was just his human form, or his human appearance, which is okay. I honestly love it. I love what they did with, giving him like tiny little sideburns that are still computer, like they're still very computer esque with the way that they're just dots and they fade out. I like the blue eyes, the change to that. I enjoy pretty much everything about it, you know? Then we have Lloyd, who is the most changed. Honestly, the most changed. Everything about him changed. His resting smile, his eye color, his eyebrow color, his hair, it's all different. And I like the movie design more than the original show design. Because even in the show, after he became an adult, he still just looks like a kid. Like even after he grew up, he just looks like a kid. So I'm glad that they changed it for this. I like the hair more. It's really, I mean, it's cute. It's cute hair. His other hair was cute too, but it is like the next logical evolution of that. I like everything about it. I like the green eyes. I mean, he is the most powerful the ninja. It would make sense that his elemental powers would show through his eyes, right? Um, and I like just, it feels way more expressive. All these designs feel way more expressive. And then Nia, who, honestly, Nia was the least changed. Just pretty much added a mole, and I think that's, I mean, I don't have both of them right now, but it seems that really all they did was just add the mole and maybe improve her eyebrows a little bit, or her eyebrows. And I like this Nia. I like all these designs. I've grown to love them. The designs really aren't the problem, okay? With this. The designs are not the problem at all. There are some problems I have with the movie, but they are not the designs, because I actually love these designs. So, now that we've talked about the designs and all the differences, we can actually get back into the movie now. After defeating Garmadon, Wu tells all of our main ninja about the elemental powers inside of them: fire, lightning, ice, earth, water, and green. The movie drags out this joke a bit too long for my liking, with the exact same clip of Wu saying green playing 3 times, according to my memory. Wu takes Lloyd on a small walk and tells him that he needs to walk a separate path from the rest of the ninja in order to become a ninja master. Wu also tells Lloyd about the ultimate weapon, which is later revealed to be a laser pointer, but warns him that at this moment in time, Lloyd's hands are the wrong hands to wield it. This is foreshadowing for the next confrontation with Garmadon, where Lloyd uses it on him, and a giant cat, yes folks, that's right, a giant cat, attacks Ninjago's city. It attacks the ninja's mechs, it destroys part of the city, allowing Garmadon to take over and finally reach his goal of conquering Ninjago. Before I talk more about Lloyd and Garmadon's relationship, I'd like to reiterate something, that these characters, buildings, and mechs are actually Lego. This means, of course, that the giant cat is actually just a normal-sized cat. Now, this is something I never see people actually think about, because in the continuity of the show, these characters are humans. Lego is just the storytelling medium because of the toys based on the show, but the movie makes it very clear to us that its story is separate from the show. Now, let me ask you, the watcher, what would the most common things that a person playing with Legos would be doing? Well, they'd make up their own world, their own characters and stories. This movie is just that. And notice how I didn't say a kid there, I said a person. This film is what anyone actually playing with Legos would do, and I love it for that. Back to the story of the movie, Wu takes the ninja on a treacherous journey to find the ultimate weapon, taking them through the jungle of lost souls, bridge of fallen mentors, canyon of general unhappiness, and the temple of fragile foundations. 3 of these are foreshadowing slash puns, and yes, I did just say slash audibly, but I couldn't find anything for the Jungle of Lost Souls. I read the transcript just because I couldn't watch the movie right now, and I didn't really find anything to correlate. But when the ninja arrive in the jungle, Wu encounters his brother Garmadon, who's also looking for the ultimate weapon. The two fight, and it's a really cool scene. Honestly, one of the best fight scenes in the movie, in my opinion. The fight leads to the Bridge of the Fallen Mentors, where Wu ends up falling into the river below because Garmadon had the 7 butterflies. I'm gonna hopefully be playing clips in the background, and if not, then I'll just be showing screenshots. After Wu falls into the river below, he shouts out to the ninja to find their inner peace before disappearing. Garmadon then convinces the ninja that he can lead them since he used to be a ninja master himself. Everyone agrees to this except for Lloyd, who doesn't trust his father. The ninja and Garmadon reach the Canyon of General Unhappiness to find all of Garmadon's ex-generals very unhappy. They try to burn him and Lloyd, as chaotic generals do, but the ninja think back to all of Master Wu's ninja movies to save Lloyd and Garmadon. There's a bit of father-son bonding time where they pay off a joke made in the beginning of the movie. Basically, Garmadon just makes fun that Lloyd can't catch, and Lloyd says there was never anyone to teach him how to throw and catch. So Garmadon teaches Lloyd how to throw. They throw a bunch of Lego pieces, and essentially, the ninja all work together to make what is essentially the battle bus from Fortnite. Yeah, I'm just gonna put a picture of it right here. They escape the generals and make their way to the Temple of Fragile Foundations, which is revealed to be Garmadon and Wu's childhood home. This is another pun, obviously, as Garmadon and Wu's childhood, or their foundation, was seemingly very fragile, as the walls are plastered with pictures of the two sparring slash fighting. And again, I did just audibly say slash, because saying sparring, fighting, wouldn't make any sense. The ninja find a chest containing Lego pieces representing each one's elemental powers. It's shown that Wu did not mean inner peace, but instead meant inner peace, as in a Lego piece. All of the ninja use their newly gained elemental powers to escape the temple after being betrayed by Garmadon. Again, screenshot or clip in the background. He wanted Lloyd to become his new general. Lloyd wanted him to move and be their new master, their new Jedi. Not Jedi. Can you tell I've got Star Wars on the brain? Their new ninja master. So, yeah, I mean, they kind of have a small fight. They get out once the temple starts crumbling because they work together with their elemental past powers. Trying to read this all in one take is not the best. I have to be calm with my voice because I have a sore throat. So I'm trying to do it all in one take. Which I hope you don't mind. Back in Ninjago City, Garmadon gets swallowed by the big cat from earlier, and Lloyd gets to tell him how he feels. There's a whole scene where they talk and talk and talk. Well, I guess Lloyd is the only one talking, but Garmadon's in the cat, and Lloyd's talking about, how he just wants him to be his father, how he wants him to be good, how he was ashamed for so long of his name, but that he doesn't want to be ashamed anymore. Garmadon cries a tear of fire, which is another joke that they made earlier, that he has to cry fire, right? Burns the inside of the cat spits him out. Movie ends happily with Lloyd, Wu, Garmadon, and Lloyd's mother living happily together. I didn't really talk about her because she's not super important to the plot of the movie. She is in the game a little bit. But that was pretty much the main plot. I mean, we can go on to talk about what I like and dislike about it. I like the new characters. I like the new designs for the characters. I said that earlier when we looked at them. The original Ninja minifigures were not very detailed or expressive. They went widely unchanged from 2011 to 2017 and just were not the greatest. Like I mentioned before, Kai's hair was made of rubber. His scars just looked like wrinkles. They really just made him look old. And they weren't even in the show at that point. He didn't have any in the actual show. Um, Jay, again, with his generic city hairpiece. Only thing about him was his eyebrow slit, which, yeah, I like it. I don't know why they got rid of it, right? Cole was very basic. This is just what I said earlier, but just kind of reiterated. So, all very basic. Nia and Lloyd were not bad, but they did need the upgrade, right? I like that the movie designs breathe new life into these characters. They really needed it. And honestly, I'm gonna go on a side tangent here, but people call these the movie designs, like still to this day. Like Dragon's Rising is out, right? We've had all these seasons of the show with these designs, and people still call them the movie designs. And I just don't think that's right. I mean, yes, they were the designs shown in the movie, but they're also the main designs of the show now and the sets, right? So it's kind of disrespectful to just constantly refer to them as the movie designs instead of like, oh, as the current designs, as the post reboot designs, right? I've seen some call them the Wild Brain era designs because that's the who's animating it right now. Um, and I just think it's not giving these characters the respect they deserve to just refer to them as, oh, it's the movie designs, because they're not just the movie designs. They're not. Um, right? So that's what I do like, right? And one that I do like, and this is sort of like a don't like situation because the next thing I'm talking about is something that I don't like. And it's the humor. I like it's not my kind of humor. Don't get me wrong, I laughed a lot. I watched this movie and I have it in the background and it's great. I do really enjoy it. They are funny jokes. They're just not my kind of jokes, right? There's just not there's not like the best balance between jokes and serious, and sometimes a serious moment will just have a joke in there for no reason. Which I get, it's a kids movie. Again, the movie was not made for me, right? One of the biggest mistakes you can do when watching a movie is to assume that the movie was made for you. Specifically, not you as in a fan of something, but you specifically, because you're never going to find a movie that has everything you like and nothing you don't like. And that's sort of the point of this, kind of, is to say there are things I like and there are things I don't like, and I'm sure there are different things you don't like about the movie that I do, right? And that's okay. I like it a lot more than the Lego Batman movie, I will say. While that has a lot of jokes, they are very forced. They are very like joke, 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 joke. There's not a lot of serious moments in the Lego Batman movie, and when they are also undercut by all the jokes. Again, I'm not saying any of these movies are bad, because I do enjoy the Lego Batman movie, just as I enjoy the Lego Ninjago movie. They're just not my kind of movie. Not my favorites, right? I think they did a slight disservice to Garmadon's character in this movie by making him mostly just comic relief. There are multiple times Lloyd tries to talk to him sincerely and he will just respond with another joke. But something I do like in the movie is the pacing. The pacing is pretty brilliant. The movie feels like the perfect length. You know, it comes in around an hour and 41 minutes long, and everything gets wrapped up neatly by then. They utilize the Lego elements very well, as one would expect. They treat the characters with respect for the most part. This movie is able to tell a gripping, emotional story while also being mainly joke-filled, and that's not something I can say for a lot of other movies I've watched. These things are usually too serious or too jokey, and I believe that the Lego Ninjago movie strikes the perfect balance between the two. In conclusion, I wrote an essay, and I'm reading it from the essay. If you haven't watched the movie yet, I think you should. And if you watched it and didn't like it at all, maybe try again with this new perspective. After all, one of the main messages in it is to look at things differently. Of course, the purpose of this is not to make you love the movie or change your mind completely. This is mainly to tell you to keep an open mind when it comes to it. People are entitled to like and dislike what they want, and that's beautiful. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you have any criticisms, please let me know in the comments down below.